If you feel like the year is almost up and you still feel like you're in the same place you were at the beginning of this year, which was not where you want to be, we're going to talk about it, break it down, and figure out how we can regain our focus before the end of the year. So let's get right into the video. Oftentimes we'll confuse burnout or distraction with laziness. And the reality is sometimes we are doing the right things. We maybe just don't have the right process to do it because we're just on autopilot. Other times we have too many things in our way that we can't realize there's an obstacle every single time we try to make progress. So you have to have a system. I'm drilling this into everyone's ear until the end of the year because without a system, everything fails. It's easy to think like, oh, I can go into this and just be carefree and whatever happens, happens. Sometimes that works. Most times it doesn't. Remember the feeling, or maybe you still have the feeling of having so many unfinished things. You start things, you understand, I get so excited, I'm pumped, but you still have a long to-do list of things that haven't been completed because you just have not finished anything. That slowly hurts your self-trust. It makes you feel less confident in yourself, less confident in being able to fix or finish things or excel or evolve in anything because you just haven't seen the result of anything. You most likely lost your focus for a few reasons, and try to pinpoint which one this might be for you. Number one, overstimulation. You're constant doom scrolling, and that gets you a little bit of a dopamine hit every single time you see something new that your brain hasn't processed yet. It's like getting a reward for doing nothing. Multitasking, way too many tabs open in your brain, sometimes also on your laptop. Your brain basically never rests. Number two, perfectionism. You're afraid to start because it won't be perfect. Nothing's perfect when you start. Absolutely nothing. Your first golf swing, your first test, your first relationship, your first whatever. Number three, lack of clarity. You don't know why you're doing, so you quit or you just pause it and then you get back to it when you get motivated again. But because you don't have discipline, it doesn't matter because it's running on motivation, which means it's going to be like this for a really long time. Or number four, emotional fatigue. Sometimes lack of focus is actually exhaustion disguised as procrastination. The way you're going to regain that focus and mental clarity is step one, cut the noise. Wherever you fall on those four options I just gave, these will apply to every single one of them. And you first have to cut the noise. Put your phone in another room. It is so easy for us to get distracted, for us to lose that focus simply because we haven't defined what our focus time looks like. It can't just be lighting a candle and putting on some jazz music. You have to be really, really intentional with that time. So if you know your phone is a problem, put it in the bathroom charging. Put it in the bathroom charging. Go on YouTube, open up pomodoro timer, 20-minute block, 45-minute block, I don't care. Just type it in, find the most aesthetically appealing one for you, turn it on and work in sections like that. You have a test coming up? Great. Figure out what part you want to study and then use the pomodoro timer. Then when you get your first break, go check your phone and then go back and continue to train your brain to get back into that cycle of focus time. Step number two, ask yourself, what's one thing that matters to me right now? Let's keep the test as part of the example. If the focus is to just get a C, a passing grade, you might not even get an A. You might do even better than the C goal. That's your goal. So what amount of information do you need to know that's going to be on 70% of the test for you to get that? I'm not saying strive for mediocrity. Strive for excellence always. But if you know there's a subject or there's just something that is just not clicking for you yet, strive to just do good enough, to give it your all and to hope that you get where you want to go with the amount of effort you put in. Step number three, create that focus window. So I talked about the pomodoro timer and that's great, but you can also set up your own reward system. 25 minutes studying, that means you'll get a 10-minute, ice cream break, or a 10-minute FaceTime call, or a 10-minute YouTube video catch up on someone's channel. It doesn't have to be mine, it can be anyone's. But it just gives you a way to reward yourself based off of how far you're getting in your progress. Step four, protect the first hours of the day. So basically, protect your mornings. Your clarity will fade as the day goes on, so it's so important on how you set it up. I solely believe giving God your first and best is we've been learning about that in church recently. We've talked about the story of Cain and Abel. For people who aren't familiar, the story of Cain and Abel, the long and short of it is, Cain gave God some of his best and never really wanted to share the best of the best because he wanted to keep it for himself. Abel gave God his first and his best. God was pleased, multiplied that, and you just saw so many. Long story short, Cain kills Abel. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. There's a lore to it. But the moral of that story is that when you give your first and best, God is pleased, and that I've never been shy about it on my channel. Me and God, we go heavy like this. I do my very best to try to live out a biblically sound life, to be as connected to Christ as I can. I'm not perfect. I'm human. I'm gonna make mistakes. mistakes, but the more I talk about it, the more I strive like it, the more I try to lead like Jesus in the best way that I can only hope to hear, well done, good and faithful servant. I digress. As the day goes on, depending on how you set it up, it can be really hard to backtrack and get back on track. So if you started off knowing that I'm going to get up, thank God for one, seeing another day, because a lot of people did not get the same opportunity that I did. I need to pause and be grateful, be thankful, and pray I go into the day with gratitude. Then set yourself up for success by eating a breakfast that is filled with protein and healthy fats and water. Drink water. This is my daily reminder. I'm so bad at it. It's almost crazy how bad I am at drinking water. So I'm saying this for any of my other struggling girlies. All in all, when you start the day well, it's more likely that you'll end it well. Life is still gonna life, but you set yourself up for success, and that's how you start building your system. And step number 5, reconnect with the why. Why are you doing any of this? What is the end goal? Not the end goal of passing your test or passing the class or graduating. What is the thing that is actually setting you up for years down the line? The reason why you're even doing this in the first place. Purpose drives attention. So if your attention feels like it is like in so many different lanes, maybe think about why you're doing the thing that you can't stay focused on. Sometimes that's the real truth in it. Are you doing it because you feel like this is something that's a part of a season and it may not be your favorite season, but it's a part of the journey? Or do you just feel like you're doing it because someone else wants you to do it because you don't really know what you want to do? Sometimes when you don't really know what you want to do, you just do things that you know you don't want to do until you figure out what it is you do want to do. And that's okay too. Everyone's path looks different. All in all though, it creates this psychology of completion. Small wins rebuild trust. Trust in yourself, trust in others if you're working on a team. Completing one small thing signals to your brain safety. I've been doing a lot of research lately in my own interest. I found out that I really love neuroscience, and I never really thought I'd see myself in that lane, but it's really cool. It's actually really fun studying the cognitive behavior of why people do the way they do, or like why the brain thinks the way it does or responds the way it does. And it can just give you a really helpful worldview when you're trying to understand your life, try to understand the things around you. Some things you're just not gonna know. It's out of your control. Leave it up to God and, keep showing up and do the rest. But when you get on like a brain activity level, it's like super fun. So I just have to nerd out for a second, but completion isn't about doing everything. It's about closing one loop at a time. You finish more when you start less. It's almost always backwards the way that people say things. You do finish more when you start with less because you have less to think about. And honestly, if all this is just like really nice information, but you still feel like where you were when you first started this video, consider that the emotional side of this, distraction is sometimes a coping mechanism. So it's safer to start over than to fail. But the thing is, to get that thought out of your head, you have to remember failure is the mother of all success. It literally takes one yes, let's do it, one investment, one passing grade that truly sets you up for success. Focus is self-respect and practice. It means you're going to keep showing up for you, which means that's going to trickle down into how you show up for others, how you show up for your family, how you show up for your spouse, how you show up for your friends, and so on and so forth. If it gets really hard and you feel like you're on a really good stretch, how you keep going, this is my final point on this video, how you keep going is to track your progress and reflections so that you can see, I had 4 good days and 2 bad days, because sometimes it's easy for us to feel like the day we're having is the day it's been for a long time. If you don't track it, it's going to be really hard to remember your why. Track it not just in a journal by writing if that's not your form of creativity or art. Track it in a journal, track it in photos, track it in video, audio notes, like anything that works for you. Track it. Make your environment reflect your goals. Visual cues will have focus triggers attached to them. So if your vision board is somewhere under your bed, of course it's going to be easy to be distracted. You forget why you're doing something. However, if you have different little aesthetics, a part of your room, part of your laptop background, a part of your phone wallpaper, it's easy to remember the why. And remember, rest is not the opposite of focus. It is quite literally what sustains it. So if you feel like you're being productive and you see something going and you decide I need to have a recovery day, I need to recoup. But give yourself a time limit for that. 24 hours is just enough. Remember that regaining focus is not always about doing more. It's remembering who you are when the noise stops. That might not make sense now, but it will later. If you stayed until this long in the video, please leave this emoji so that I know that you're really rocking with this and you're a real one. And to know that you're not giving up on yourself just because it's November and the year's almost up. Like, you're getting a head start to next year. It's not the year's almost up. It's I'm starting earlier than everyone else. Change the perception that you're telling yourself, because you're always winning if you tell yourself that. So I hope that gave you a little bit more of a different perspective shift on how you start seeing your life, how you start showing up for yourself, because we're talking like this, we're being like this, we're acting like this, and we are like this going into 2026. So I'll see y'all in the next episode of Party One Podcast. Peace.